Going through narrative photos, this particular narrative as a whole drew my eye just because every picture went together so nicely, and it seemed to me like the entire thing was about um, the way we all live with phones. Like, our phones completely consume our lives, and I thought this picture was very interesting just because it was so, first of all, it's so sharp, and you can tell that this man is the main subject of the entire narrative. Every picture is him on his phone, whether he is just waking up, going to bed, skateboarding. I just thought it was very interesting that this person took these pictures and made it very known that the whole point of this narrative was that our lives revolve around our phones. I think this photo in particular is just a really good one just because all the elements come together very nicely. It's such a sharp photo. um, in the front, in like the foreground, just you can tell that that's like what the image is about, is this guy on his phone, and then everything kind of, as you look further back, is blurred out, and I think that's very interesting. It just makes it very known what the photo is about. um, if you continue looking at this entire narrative, you see that these two men actually bump into each other because they're both looking at our phones. And I just think this is so relatable to the time that we live in now, just because I know personally when I go to bed, the last thing I look at is my phone. And when I wake up, the first thing I look at is my phone. So I just think this photographer did a really good job of being able to relate this narrative to people, to be able to intrigue them that way. Um, I think the only thing that could be changed about this photo is the angle at which it's taken. Instead of putting these two men kind of slanted, I think I would have put it where they were completely straight up and down, just because I think it would have given the image a different kind of look. But when you look at it like this, you kind of tilt your head a bit just because you're like, oh, what am I looking at? Even though it's like very clear what you're looking at, I feel like when a photo is tilted or off center, you kind of like tilt your head to it. Compositionally, I would absolutely do nothing, um, just because I think everything falls together so perfectly to make this image. Um, like, you can see the way the sidewalk falls, like the lines in it. You can also see the lines in the brick, and it kind of gives the image like some texture or something different to look at rather than just the two men in the photo. Overall, I personally think this person was trying to um, give us the type of feel of a nightmare, just because thinking about it, like, our phones really are our worst enemy, just because we're constantly on them. Our lives revolve around them. Just everything you do, you're on your phone. Overall, I think this is a excellent picture, and I think the narrative was just very well thought out and very good.